Hello, welcome to Just Vintage Crochet. I wanted to show off some boy hooks that I got. It's a brand I don't use personally on a regular basis, only on occasion, only because I am an inline head hook person and these are always tapered. And I wanted to give you an update on the channel, what we have coming up, what I'm working on, what videos you can expect in the coming weeks. Okay, first things first, I got some new crochet hooks and I wanted to show you a real live example of they don't make things like they used to anymore. And I don't know why I put that in air quotes because it's an actual fact. They don't make things like they used to anymore. Let's start with these first. These are really neat. I got these on eBay, although I probably could have found them in a store somewhere, but I haven't seen them in my local Walmart. They're not very old. I'm not sure what year these come from, if they're marked in the back. No, they're not. Oh yeah, they are right here. This is from 2024 and from 2020. So they're not like, these are not vintage, but what's unique about them are the quarter sizes. I haven't seen, I'm sure that there are other brands, likely brands I've never heard of. My regular brand, right here, my regular brand is the Clover. The Clover you can see right there. And these don't come in quarter sizes. And surprisingly, they do come in international sizes. Not surprisingly, it's an international brand. I don't know why I said surprisingly. I would have said surprisingly if it was Susan Bates. But as you can see, Clover 7mm. That's an international size. Not easy to find. And also Susan Bates is a big part of my regular brand. These, I was in love with these for the longest time, but after a while I get thumb fatigue right here. I get just a little bit of thumb fatigue. So whenever I switched up to these, I never looked back. So Susan Bates and Clover is my regular favorite, most friendly brand to me. But neither of those have these really unique quarter sizes. And also I have not been able to find that Boy makes these quarter sizes all the way through the line. Now, obviously there are 3.75mm. That's pretty standard though, but 6.25mm, 6.75mm. I imagine it's because there's no demand for it. But this is really neat. Sometimes you're making something and the hook you're using is just a touch too big or a touch too small. These quarter sizes are really neat. So I was really happy to find these on eBay. I paid a few dollars a piece for them. Free shipping because I bought them from US sellers. This is really neat. I have been looking for a complete one of these, or at least to complete my set, for a while. These are really hard to find if you happen to have the cash. I would never recommend buying something like this just on a whim, you know, if you still have bills and rent to pay and whatnot. These are very rare. They're not easy to find, especially as a complete set with the insert. I'll show you the insert and everything that says. There you go. Very interesting. And here's how it comes. Now this, I don't think is meant to be completely detached, and I'll show you why, but it doesn't really matter. Here is my original. I've had this one for a while, but it's incomplete and it is quite beat up. Oops. And the lid is attached. So yeah, I'm missing two of the hook heads, but mine did whenever I picked this up a while ago. Oh, some of these hooks are going to want to fall out. That's okay. Yeah, some of the hooks came right out. It came with these old needles, like actual like needles. And I think one of them is an old leather needle. I'll have to talk to Justin's grandma. She makes moccasins and stuff like with doe skin. And she works with leather needles. I think this is a leather needle because it is flat. Do you see that? Making it easier to get into the leather. But that's what I think. Maybe some of you can correct me on that if I'm wrong. It has an eye right there. So yeah, I think, and this is steel. It just needs to be polished up with a fine, super fine grit file and cleaned and maybe stored with a little tiny rub of oil on it to prevent that from happening again. But these are all vintage. Oh, that has rust on it. I don't want to stick myself. These are vintage needles, and I think some of them are for a sewing machine, as you can see on the end here. Yeah, pretty cool. There we go. Don't bite. Feel like I'm holding a handful of vicious spiders right now. Yeah, I do believe that some of these are for a sewing machine because there's a hole in the... Is that a hole? Yeah, there's a hole right here. Okay, I dropped one. I'm going to put the rest of these back. There we go. There is a hole. I have two of them that are like this. There's a little hole right here. You can see through it just ever so slightly right here. And I believe that's for a sewing machine. So these are like vintage sewing machine. I don't know if these are specifically Singer brand, but yeah, I think these are super neat to have. And I'm really thoroughly intrigued by this one right here, because this would be great for doing punch crochet work, for making your holes before you crochet into it, but it needs to be cleaned up. But this was my original set. These are the Boy Interchangeable hooks. Okay, come on, you let go. There we go. Anyways, they're in beautiful condition. Now, when did these come from? These come from the 1920s. And they are over 100 years old, if not right at 100 years old, and they're in beautiful condition. Now, as far as a tapered goes, these are pretty nice shaped tapered. They are very deep. I'm just usually not the biggest fan. I was super excited. Well, first of all, I'm kind of all over the place, aren't I? I was trying, ooh, that super rusty one was sticking in my couch. Okay, I had been trying to piece this one together. I need the handle, and I am missing 2 sizes. Then I found this one, complete set with the handle. This is not plastic. This predates plastic, and it's not Bakelite. I'll show you what Bakelite looks like. This is celluloid, and you'll note that some of the crochet patterns from the 1920s call for celluloid hook size, yada yada. This is celluloid. It predates plastic. That's what it looks like. If you ever get your hands on celluloid, never wash it with soap and water, and never put it under water like running water, and never put it in a basin of water. You want to get a rag and barely put 1 drop of water on it to where it's almost not even wet, and just clean it like that. Never get these wet. It says Boy right there is the stamp. And how these work, which I did play with this set. It's very durable. It works great. You want to just slip that in there, put that on, and boom. And it works great. You can work with this. But whenever I was working with it, I was having a hard time, only because I'm just not good. I don't do well with the tapered. I need the inline. I want to show you why the term "they don't make things like they used to" is so valid. This I luckily found for only $3 on Mercari, but everywhere else, including other sellers on Mercari, are asking a minimum of $21 for this set. I'm going to show you right now why this is not worth picking up. They all come from 2014. You can see that right there. They were made in 2014. And they are absolutely horrendous quality. Look at this. See if I can look at that. I think these were nickel plated. I'm not 100% sure, but they're plated in something that is warping and peeling off. Listen to this. That's terrible. This is barely over 10, 11 years old, and it's unusable. Thank goodness I only spent $3 on it. But, oh, and he listened to that. Unfinished aluminum. This slips in there just like it did. I will say this is a nicer, a more snug fit. That's nice. So that design, oh, I'm so sorry about the squeak. I'll see if I can mute that. There we go. So it is a good design. It's a really, really good design. I will say that much. The hook head always lines up with the thumb rest. That is really, really nice. But every single one of these is in absolute disarray. Look at that. It feels rough. It feels almost water damaged, but nothing about this is water damaged. Here's the packaging it came in. It's in perfect condition. I'll show you this. The paper insert, if this was water damaged, this paper insert would certainly show it. There would be some type of water damage on it, and there is not. Yeah, these are just rough. Look at that. Oh, it's just, what a shame. What an absolute shame. Now, boys, solid hooks are always going to be in great condition, but I mean, they're made with steel, so there's the difference. These are not made with steel. I believe these are plated aluminum. Really bad shape. Yeah, and oh, that one's bent. I probably bent it just trying to get it out, which is a problem with a set like this. It's still bent. It's aluminum. It's not steel. It shouldn't be able to bend that easy. Really poor material, but good design. The design is really, really good. I prefer this design over the original, and I'll show you one reason why. With the original, no matter what you do, your hook is going to go back this way a little bit, no matter what size you pick, no matter what you do. And you'll note with this one, oh, that squeak. Let me do this off camera so I don't drive your ears crazy with the little mousy squeaks. You see how it has this sort of T shape here? And you'll match that in the grooves right there. And it holds it in. It locks it in to where no matter which side you put it in, you're on the thumb rest, which is nice. This one here this is really sturdy. This one here, it's pretty loose. And, which is which? Is this the one that goes on here? I think so. And you can see it cocks that needle back a bit. I don't know if you can see that. If I spin it, you might be able to see. It's crazy. I can see it in real life. It's kind of going like this a little bit, ever so slightly. And whenever I was playing with this, I did notice that I had to adjust the way I was working to make up for the fact that this isn't perfectly straight. Now, did I mix these up? Oh, Lord, please don't tell me I did. Is this going to actually, oh my God, it fits. Did that straighten it up? Did that straighten it up a bit? Is this the one that goes here? Uh-oh. I almost don't know which goes where. I think this is the original. You can kind of see how it spins funnier. It's a little more weeble wobbly. I do believe this is the original for this. That's crazy how absolutely identical these are. Wow. Now, why did they make this out of steel and everything else out of aluminum? Unfinished aluminum. These hooks are meant to be steel. Anyways, I just wanted to show off. These are the 1920s boy interchangeable steel crochet hooks. I'm really afraid that I mixed these up. I really, truly am. I need to get a good look at them. Ugh, oh, that sound. They look absolutely identical, but does this one look newer and more polished? Oh no. One is thinner. Oh, you know, there's a way. I think there is a way I can tell. This is the boy. I think this one is for the boy because it's thicker. It's thicker right here at the opening than this one. And I think that's why it holds the hook straighter. So I think this one goes onto here. Let me try that again. Here's the boy. And yes, it moves. Okay, yes. Oh, whew. This is the vintage. Okay. Crisis averted. Not gonna lie though, you know what I'm gonna do? Woo! Because this is so neat. I'm gonna go ahead and just steal that bit because I'm never gonna use this. This is it's unusable. And it's not even worth collecting. This is, I paid $3 for it. It's unusable. It's trash. I'm not even sure why I'm concerned about putting it in the right spot. But anyways, so there you go. When you hear older generations say they really don't make any things like they used to. Now, to be fair, to be completely fair, modern day clover hooks are really, really nice. Really, really nice. And I would say compared to vintage hooks, of which I have some, they're better. They're smoother. They have that powderized coating on them, which just allows for a perfectly smooth glide without it being too slippery. Beautiful. So some modern, and you can really see that coating better on these ones here. You see how it looks kind of satiny? That's that, you can hear it. It's like a powderized coating that these hooks, these Japanese hooks use. It's wonderful. And then the aluminum. Lovely. So not everything made today is trash compared to yesterday's. But this thing here was just made to, honestly, it's a cash grab. This had to have been a cash grab. They could not have been serious. But boy doesn't always have the best quality either. We can see that with these modern hooks. They have inconsistencies. The taper head sticks out so far that it catches your work. That's why I like an inline. You can just so quick. The hook heads, sometimes where the seam is, it's rough. You have to take a nail file to it. The hook heads can be twisted, cocked off to the side. They're just, boy has gone so far down in quality. It is shameful. My first hook was a boy hook. I think everybody's first hook was a boy hook. Oh, nope. Let's get you back in there. So now this is complete. I'm going to work on completing this one, but I think it's going to take me many birthdays, many moons to complete that one. There is a complete set online right now, and they're asking $230 for it. I paid $160 for this one, but only $35 for this one. And I feel like that was a really good deal for this, because what if I find a more complete set than this one where it's just missing a few hooks, but the handle is there? Then I've got the few hooks to replace my new set with. And why would I need more than one? Because one likes to collect things. So I'll show you what Bakelite looks like, and you can see the difference between Bakelite and these ones here made with celluloid. This is Bakelite, and it predates plastic. It's the OG plastic. This was before crude oil plastic existed. This is resin. And you can see that it has, maybe you can't, but it's got spider webbing cracking through it. These are very delicate. You can't wash them. You can't, when you get something Bakelite, just leave it as is. Maybe you can see on the bottom some of the damage, Bakelite is very, very fragile, very delicate. So this was a null bending set I picked up off of eBay a couple of years back. These are leather punching needles. They are made of bone. They're made of, no, ivory. I think one of them is ivory and two of them are bone. And this came with this set like this. This was the original of the set. These were just came along as a bonus. They just live in here as a bonus. But this is Bakelite. These are pins. Hold your pins. And you really, I don't know if you can see it, but there is spider web cracking all through it. If you can picture that, sort of like that dry desert look. And this is, you have to be careful getting this out so as not to break it. There we go. And it's a little bit bent. This will obviously never get used. It's very, very fragile. But this is old school plastic. And they used to make crochet hooks out of this too. They didn't last very long though. I need to get a curio cabinet. I am on the market for one. I've been shopping for one so that I can display my crochet curiosities. Because I've got lots of vintage crochet hooks, vintage knitting needles, and stuff like this. There we go. So I just wanted to show you, this is Bakelite. This is celluloid. There we go. Now let's talk a little bit about what I'm working on right now and what you can come to expect. So I finally, let me get my bag. I finally got my thread in the mail. Took a little while to get here. That's understandable. The weather has not been great for shipping. The Knit Picks Curio, I will say the blue is quite a bit lighter than it showed. It showed slightly more sky blue. In real life, this is like a silvery blue, a silvery baby blue. Very pretty, very shiny. I am enjoying it. And I have started on our pattern. As you can see there, this band has been quite time consuming. I have been working on this for 3 days now, and this is as far as I've gotten. You got to start with 42 inches. Let me look. I think it's 42. God, I hope it's not 46. Is it? 46 inches. Oi, right there. Measures 46 inches. Okay, well, I, in my head, thought it was 42, so that means I'm going to have to work an extra day, probably. This, making the band, is a little bit time consuming. It's a lot, but I'm getting along. I'm at almost 20 inches. And I believe it's going to want 46 inches unstretched. So, you know, you have to measure this relaxed. What I'm going to do whenever I'm done making this is, I'm not going to block it, but I'm going to get it wet and pin it. I'm going to pin it loose like that, and just let it dry because it's wanting to curl and crinkle. But I have started working on that head wrap. Very excited about that. And if you didn't see this before, you missed the video where I showed this off. This is going to be a tutorial in the next coming weeks. And if you are really comfortable with vintage patterns, you don't need a video, or you just want to get a jump start on the band because it's very simple. You're going to start with 14 single crochet. You need a number 10. You need a number 10 crochet thread. This is the brand I'm using. And the details are, where's the details? It should show. Oh, 721 yards or 100 grams. I bought 3 of these because I wasn't sure exactly how many that you need. You also need a vintage number 7 hook. There's no modern equivalent. The closest that you're going to get is a 1.75 millimeter hook. That's way too big. Or a 1.5 millimeter hook, which is going to be a bit too small. You really need to do yourself a favor and just invest in some of these vintage hooks. These are the Susan Bates hooks with that great inline. Let's see here. Yes, I go kind of all over the place. That great deep inline. Yeah, these are the Susan Bates. and vintage made in USA. And I find these predominantly on Etsy. They're not cheap. They go for about $10 to $12 a piece, but I do have a full set. But if you want to start on this, if you want to pick up this pattern for yourself, I'm going to leave a link down below where you can grab this pattern. And if you want to wait until I put the video out and you still want to get started, here is a freebie for you. You're going to get your number 10 thread, your number 7 vintage hook. You really do need that. Start with 14 chains and work 13 single crochet across, and work 13 single crochet in the back loop only to make ribbing for 46 inches. I promise you it will take you a couple of days, but this entire pattern is going to probably take me a couple of weeks to get completely done, because once I'm done doing this, I got to do all of that, and that is a lot. This isn't going to be quick and easy. This is a lot. So you can pick this pattern up and just make it on your own, or you can get started on the band at least, because that's pretty time consuming, and then wait the couple of weeks for me to drop a video. Another pattern I'm working on is a placemat and table runner. Ooh, Merlin hairs on there. A placemat and table runner from, don't have it in front of me. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's from the 1970s. It's very interesting. It's going to be the spider stitch. Very cool. It's essentially filet crochet. With this one here, you will need a number 9 vintage steel crochet hook and number 20 thread. And how much? I don't know. I have 2 balls of it. That's going to be more than enough to make at least 1 table runner, I think. But yeah. And I am also working on, I'll give you a sneak peek of the color anyway. I'm working on a mystery pattern right now, and I should be done with it in a few days and have that video up in like a few days, 4 days, 5 days. But here is a sneak peek of the colors. Here we go. I'm not going to tell you what category of item it is. It's a mystery, right? But it's very cool. It's from the 70s, and it's from the early 70s, from 1971. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy that one. I at least hope so. I always hope so, right? So there we go. There's a quick update on what I'm working on. So I'm not just sitting back and doing nothing while a whole bunch of YouTube shorts fills in for my job. I am doing some very time-consuming work. It's mostly thread work, and it is very time-consuming. But I knew once I got started, I started on this first while I was waiting for this. Once this yarn got here, I put this aside, and I'm like, give me. I want to make this. And this is so time-consuming. Oh, my God. So I knew I needed to get started on a mystery pattern so that I can give you guys something to chew on while you patiently wait for this beauty right here. Cannot wait. Again, you can find the whole pattern. There's a link down below. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to check out my merch. I love you. Bye.